How great do you want to be? How great do you want to be? Let the show begin. Action. Got the shot. Hello, welcome. This is Tio from Whatwouldteosay Photography. This is episode 10. That feels so good. Been working on this project and just being able just to see the different reactions from people and the support. I'm greatly appreciative of it. So let's move forward. Today's episode, mistaken errors. We learn more from our mistakes more than anything. The day comes, or I should say, we start in our field, whatever medium is that you're doing, and everyone tells you how great you are, how wonderful you are, and then comes that fateful day where someone disagree with you. They critique you, and you get called out and get challenged for your work. It's going to happen. It is not something to be afraid of. If anything, it is something to learn from. You know, we all been through it. That is why practice is so important. Honing your skills. Developing your skills as well. Whether that's taking classes, reading books, and always being in the forefront of always learning and improving your skill sets. I had a good friend of mine. We were talking about photography and different things, and we were talking about lighting in particular. And I at the time made a statement. I really don't use lights that much. My goal is to, in the camera setting, making sure everything in the camera is set the way I need it to achieve the photo that I want. And he looked at me and said, "That's BS. Everyone says that who can't use light." And at first I was a little nerved by it, but then I thought about it. I was like, he's right. Sometimes you need people in your circle to call you out, and at that moment, I made a conscious decision to learn everything about lighting, especially in photography. So I learned, took the time to properly get it done, and and I'm forever grateful for my buddy for telling me that, because it forced me to step up my game. It forced me to look at what I was doing as a whole, and look at and self critique and say, you know what, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to learn. And reaching out and grabbing different resources, and just learning. So don't be afraid of mistaken errors. I've made quite a few mistakes in my photography career. Some not too terrible, some terrible, and I've always been the type, if you ain't walking away happy, I didn't do my job. And there were times that had happened, And the same buddy, I reached out to him again. I said, how do you deal with unhappy customers? And he was just honest. He said, sometimes people are just not going to like your work. It's not so much you, the person, or anything of that nature. The work doesn't reflect what they thought was going to happen. And so we started talking about portfolios and website and making sure you're putting in the right work that reflects your skill set. So when a person is looking you up or dealing with you, they know exactly what they're getting. They're not, there's no surprises or anything of that nature. In some cases, word of mouth will get you word. And I always say, make sure you step up to the plate and give 100%. Just be aware. Not everyone is gonna like your work. I can't emphasize that enough. Give it 100%. Do the work. Make sure you're giving the best product that you can create, and make sure your clients walk away happy. With that being said, some mistakes aren't that bad. And I want to jump into this one. The last year or so, I went back to the basics and started focusing on film photography and just learning how to take my time with photography. That was the goal of shooting film. Learning the patience game. I used to rush my shot instead of taking the shot, wait, recompose. Yeah, I was terrible at it. I was spoiled by digital cameras, essentially. So what ended up happening was, as I was learning film photography, I was going through the different stages. Then I wanted to learn how to develop my own film. I learned how to do that. And then I wanted to learn color development, film development, and I did that. And then I decided, what? I saw expired film. And, I'm a little frugal, so I was like, hey, why not get some expired film and save a couple of bucks? And I did that, and it was such an experience because I wasn't sure if I messed up the development or was it the film. 10 rolls later, I finally figured out, you're going to get a specific look. It's almost aesthetic. It's going to be you. And there was a while back I took photos with positive film slide. It has no latitude. You have to be dead on as far as like taking the shot, making sure everything was perfect. I turned in the roll of film because I, at the time, couldn't develop color film. So I turned it in, got it back, and this thing it was all over the place. Some parts of the film was good, some was overexposed. It was a whole lot of things going on. And the reason why it was like that, it was simply because I finished the roll and I got super excited and I forgot to press the rewind button on the bottom of the film camera. So I lifted the spool and I started turning and it wouldn't turn. I'm like, I don't understand. Why is this not turning? I'm so excited. And I'm like, it's not turning. So I'm like, maybe, the film got stuck. Lo and behold, the film snaps. And I'm like, and then I realized, oh, I forgot to hit the rewind button. So I put it in my little darkroom bag and try to salvage as much, basically rewind it, get it out the camera, and this was a whole fiasco. In the bag, I took the roll of film out, and for some reason, I don't know what I was thinking. The film came out it was still in the dark room bag. So I try to put the film back in the canister and tighten it. You make it as tight as possible. Took it out, went to the dark room, taped it up to the. Of course, it had light leaks, the canister, because it just was not tight. Make a long story short, got the film back. I wasn't even charged because it was just so terrible. But you know what? I saw beauty in those photos. I thought, I'm like, this is amazing. I thought it was amazing, and a couple of people responded and comment, and I'm paraphrasing, but someone basically said it takes a lot to look at something that is not necessarily aesthetically pleasing, but calling it pleasing, and it is pleasing. I was kind of like, I think I'm onto something, but. Either way, there are times when mistakes, especially in photography, could be a great thing, and when it comes to mistakes and errors, we have to take grace with it. Don't beat yourself up too much. Of course, at the time, it feels terrible. It is the worstest thing ever. Totally understand, and definitely not against it, but we do come back. We do recover, And there's some, there are some instances where it doesn't necessarily work like that, but I think if you lead with the right foot, the right attitude, and and allow yourself that recovery space to gain the masses back, it could definitely be done. But you got to put in the work. You have to practice and keep a tight circle around you to keep you astray with everything. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like, comment, all that good stuff. Show this videos to your photography friends, videography friends. Let them know there's a new kid on the block. I'm excited. It's episode 10. Thank you. Do all those great things with social media. Everything is down below. I hope you enjoy the show. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.